It's big news in the world of gravel today as SRAM have just launched their Explore range. This is a collaboration between SRAM and their in-house brands RockShox and Zipp. The range brings a lineup of gravel-specific electronic gearing options, a gravel suspension fork and dropper post, and, you guessed it, gravel wheels, tyres and finishing kit. Before I get into the details, a big thank you to our sponsors Freewheel for helping us make this video. And there's links in the description if you like the look of the kit I'm wearing today. And as always, don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe, and give my beard a mark out of 10 in the comments. Max always tells me to shout the first paragraph out. Right, before we get stuck into the details, and there is a lot to cover here are 5 key things that you need to know about Explore. Number 1, SRAM's wireless access drivetrains now get Explore options across rival, force and red levels. Number 2, Explore gearing means a new, lighter 1x direct mount chainset, a new 10 to 44 tooth cassette option, and new rear derailleur design to accommodate the wider range. Number 3, the RockShox Rudy fork has, according to RockShox, been designed from the ground up for gravel riding and comes in 30 and 40mm travel options, 700c wheel size only, and has clearance for 50mm tyres. Number 4, the wireless RockShox Reverb access dropper doubles as both a dropper post and a suspension seat post. And number 5, Zipp's 101 Explore wheelset brings vibration damping from the single wall construction previously found on the brand's moto mountain bike wheels. However, at the time of filming, SRAM could only send me a bike with the Zipp 303 Firecrest wheels, so for now you'll just have to put up with the photos. And apologies dear viewers, but I'm afraid there may only be a couple of pictures for you to look at. But don't worry, we have a set coming and we'll be sure to put them through their paces soon. We'll come on to SRAM's Explore gearing, but the biggest news, and perhaps the most controversial news, is RockShox's step into the world of drop bar suspension. Yes, of course, SRAM was a frontrunner here more than 25 years ago with the original RockShox Paris-Roubaix SL fork. However, they fell out of favour for some years. That's until they were recently reintroduced for the bang-on trend gravel world, with the likes of Fox, MRP, Cannondale, SR Suntour and Lauf offering gravel suspension. And it seems RockShox didn't want to miss out on the party, so here we have the Rudy Ultimate Explore fork. The fork is designed around 700c wheels. Plus, the Rudy offers a massive 50mm of clearance for 700c tyres. It will of course be possible to still unofficially run a 650B wheel in the fork, but this could affect your front end geometry and handling. RockShox says this is a completely new fork, not a slimmed down SID mountain bike fork or an old model that's been reinstated. The design features 30mm upper tubes to make for a lightweight unit, fixed to an alloy machined and anodized crown. Internally, the Rudy uses a new version of the Charger race day damper usually found in the SID fork. It's RockShox's lightest ever damper unit. It's also matched with a solo air spring tuned for short travel to match the Rudy's 30 and 40mm options. The fork comes with a lockout for tarmac sections, and the system has been designed with a bottomless feel, ramping up resistance before you get to that telltale clunk. The maximum of 40mm travel may seem minimal to mountain bikers, but RockShox claim it won't suffer from any clumsy bottoming out even on high-speed hits. The Rudy Ultimate Explore's claimed weight is 1.3 kilos, but obviously that's dependent on steerer tube length. By comparison, the SID Ultimate tips the scales at 1.61 kilograms. Interestingly, it's also e-bike approved for assisted gravel fans. Although if the idea of gravel bikes with suspension triggers you, then we've got no idea how triggered you'll be by an e-gravel bike with suspension. The fork is set to be priced at £779 here in the UK. If you want a more deep dive on this fork, then check the link in the video description for our detailed written article over at BikeRadar.com. With the fork out of the way, let's look at another component which may trigger some people: dropper posts on gravel bikes. The all-new Reverb Access Explore comes with either 50 or 75mm of travel. Up until now, there have been a few road or gravel droppers available and mostly cable actuated. However, the Reverb XPLR XPLR works wirelessly and it's powered by a standard ETAP battery mounted on the rear of the seat post. Actuation happens through your axis shifters, and there are various ways you can configure this depending on which setup you have. It's based on the Reverb XPLR mountain bike dropper post, but in a gravel bike friendly 27.2mm diameter. The 400mm option with 75mm of travel is a claimed 597 grams including the battery, while the 350mm post with 50mm of travel is a claimed 567 grams, again with the battery. For reference, the mountain bike Reverb XPLR post is 650 grams. There are other key differences beyond the weight though. Firstly, the internals are air only, with RockShox saying it's been designed this way to offer some suspension. When the post is fully extended and set to your correct saddle height, it's rock solid and fully locked out. But by dropping the post even just a few millimeters, you'll add some cushioning into the mix. This is because the post's active ride feature allows what are effectively air shock internals to work like rear suspension. Through the Access app, you'll be able to customize the post setup. So that means if you're running Force Access or Red Access with additional blip remote buttons, you can assign these to operate the Reverb. The post will be available in 350 or 400mm lengths with 50 or 75mm travel options. However, 75mm will be the only available travel option with the 400mm post. The newly designed head is compatible with both 7x10 oval rails and 7x9 oval all-round seat rails, so it should fit all types of saddle rails, including carbon. As you'd expect, it doesn't come cheap at £500. That's a considerable jump from our current favourite cable-operated 27.2mm post, the Crank Brothers Highline, at £274. Onto the gearing. Now you may be thinking, why do we need more options when it comes to gravel gearing? After all, you can already mix and match current Access components in a mullet formation. And by that I mean adding something like a mounted bike cassette and rear derailleur to your current road drivetrain setup. A great example of this is found on our current gravel bike of the year, the Cannondale Topstone Lefty. Well, SRAM thinks there's more to be had from wide range 1x setups, so have launched the new XPLR chainset, cassette and rear derailleur options across Rival, Force and Red levels. The centerpiece of the XPLR drivetrain is the new 10 to 44 tooth cassette. SRAM claims it's been testing gearing options with their engineering team and sponsored athletes for over a year to try and nail down the ideal spread across such a broad cassette. And if you're wondering what that spread is, you'll be able to see it down below. As you can see, the tooth jumps between the gears compress as you run down the block. SRAM said, following on from feedback from riders using a mullet setup, they said that the jump from 10 to 12 teeth was too noticeable on flatter, fast sections. SRAM still thinks that the 10 to 50 tooth cassette is a great mullet option for gravel riders looking to ride the toughest of trails, while the tighter 10 to 36 cassette is well suited for those looking for speed on road and fast gravel. The new 10 to 44 tooth cassette, however, is aimed at being a happy medium between the two extremes. There are two options available, with the high-grade XG 1271 using a lighter alloy and weighing a claimed 373 grams, while the more affordable XG 1251 comes in at a claimed 412 grams and is all steel. Alongside the cassette, SRAM has also introduced a new XPLR rear derailleur design, which, as you'd expect, ramps up the range to 44 teeth. It's 1x only and differs from the standard Access systems in that the upper pulley is offset, meaning it'll only provide optimal chain line to a single chainring. The pulleys are also oversized compared to the standard Access mechs. The derailleur is designed to work only with the flat top chains from SRAM's Road Access group sets, so mixing it up with the mountain bike SRAM Eagle chains isn't an option. Finally, as far as the rear derailleur is concerned, it uses the standard ETAP battery common across all of SRAM's wireless groups, with a claimed 1,000 plus kilometers of range between your charges. Moving on, and SRAM have revamped the 1x chainset design for the XPLR models. So unlike standard access 1x setups, you now have a direct mount spiderless design across force and red. If you're thinking of changing up an existing access group to XPLR, SRAM does offer a direct mount chainring aftermarket with an 8-bolt spider interface. If it's a power meter you're after, then a compatible 4-bolt 1x chainring mounting meter is available too, or Rival's standard single-sided non-drive side meter bolts straight in. Standard chainring sizes are 38, 40, 42, 44, 46 tooth plus 48 and 50 tooth aero direct mount rings. You can also mix and match the new chainrings with Eagle, unlike rear mechs. Pricing for all the Groupset components and options would take far too long to go through, but once again, you'll find the links and more info in the video description below. As I've already mentioned, SRAM couldn't get the Zipp 101 XPLR wheelset to me on time, so for now, we'll just have to go over the photos and marketing sheet. The XPLR 101 is based around the single-wall carbon rim technology that debuted on the radical Zipp 3.0 moto wheelset and will come in both 700C and 650B sizes. While the moto mountain bike rim has a huge 30mm internal width, the 101 reduces this down to a more manageable 27mm. According to ETRTO guidelines, that allows for a maximum tyre size of 65mm or 2.5 inches. Externally, the rim is a broad 35mm wide and just 15mm deep, making these by far the shallowest 700C wheels Zipp has ever produced. The claim weights are 1,665 grams for the 700C wheelset and 1,590 grams for the 650B wheelset. When it comes to the price, you're looking at £780 for the front wheel and £866 for the rear. So that's £1,646 a pair in both 700C and 650B. Again, we're hoping to get our hands on a set fairly soon, and we will be sure to let you know how we get on with them. If you've made it this far, then well done, as that was a lot to go over. But what do you guys think? Do we really need a dedicated gravel component range from SRAM? Or has it strayed too far into mountain bike territory? As always, let us know in the comments below. And finally, thank you so much for watching, but I'm freezing and I really need to go for a ride.